Awesome. I'm so excited to be here today. Again, this is Katie Joe, and I am a co-author in the book called The Untold Stories of Motherhood. And this is a collaboration book with about 22 segments of women who are sharing their vulnerability, having their courage, and talking about the stories as mothers that deserve to be told, that need to be heard, but often aren't spoken about. And today we have Ezralea Robbins. Did I get that correct?
Yeah.
And she wrote a phenomenal chapter in the Untold Stories book. I'm so excited to have you as part of this project. I love your chapter. I love, especially because we did a couple of the writing clubs and a couple of other things that I've heard different readings and writings, and I know you're working on a lot of things. So I loved that you would lend your talent and wisdom to this book. So if you're willing, will you tell people a little bit about you and what is the message of your chapter?
Absolutely. It was such a pleasure and an honor to be a part of this book, to not only listen and to read the untold stories that we all carry in our heart, but for me to be able to share that story with the public. It's not one that I would share very often. And so for me, and what I'm about is my blessing to the world is I create safe space wherever I go. That's been my purpose and my passion in life. And as far as this book goes, my heart is in my babies. And it was a brutally beautiful piece of my life of how I came to have children. And basically, to sum it up, is I thought I couldn't have children. I'd never been on birth control. I never even had a hint of pregnancy. And I got really mad at God, really mad, throwing a fist up in the air. And I was just like, fine. I don't believe in marriage. I want kids and I'm not going to get them. So forget it. I'm never going to get married again until I have a kid first. And I thought it was safe. I thought I knew this plan had worked out. Of course, I was in my early 20s when I made this kind of, I don't know, pact threat with God. And what happened is I went through my life and I really just put that to rest for a lot of years. I thought it wasn't ever going to happen. And I wanted babies so bad, but I laid it to rest, and I was the best aunt that I could be to my nieces and nephews. And I was dating my man for 3 years. And I was actually kind of ready to go. And all of a sudden I was pregnant. I had no idea what that felt like or to be. And then I had my beautiful baby. It was such a miracle and such a blessing to me. And I tell him that. I'm like, you are a miracle. You are a blessing. You're a gift from God. And, we thought we could be able to have more, but we ended up in the same problems. I couldn't carry a child. We lost several pregnancies, and that was brutally hard. And I just laid it to rest again and said, I'm done. I can't do this. I'm going to focus on my baby that I had. And he was so wonderful and such a joy to be with. And I just went on about my life. And then at 40, here she was. And I was so surprised and I was so scared because I've lost so many pregnancies that I was just like, I'm not getting attached. I'm not getting attached. And my husband just knew, because of course I fulfilled my bargain. I married the man that was able to get me pregnant. And then along came our beautiful baby girl. And so there's a lot of miles and stumbles within the story of how much they blessed my life, and even to some extent what I had to give of me to be able to have children. And as an older mom, I hold on to them so much because I know that being a mom is forever. Having them in our presence is time bound.
Yeah.
So I work to soak in every moment that I can, just because I know that it's time bound and that soon enough they'll be off running on their life and flying their own kites and doing what they came here on earth to do. And so that's what my story is about, is the blessing of motherhood, and how for those that maybe always wish and always wonder in the back of their head, and somehow they yearn for that motherhood, but they're not able to grasp it.
Yeah.
Just know that sometimes it comes in such its own time and its own surprise, and it could come through many different possibilities, if not through naturally having a baby yourself. Motherhood can happen if you dream it in your heart and you have that feeling there of it, that you really want to have that. And for me, I I was I'm so happy. I feel like my story has kind of ended on this. It's not ended. I still got a good life to go, but it's this Cinderella note that sort of happened for me, of that everything was a drag and I was just running through the trenches of life. And then these blessings of pure love just came in and shook me up and twirled me back and made me a mom. And the saying goes, we will move mountains for our babies and we'll also burn the world down for them.
That's so true. Well, and so what I hear you really saying also, and as you're talking about it, as I hear you saying, just believing in miracles and also surrendering to whatever it is. And your path of motherhood really is a miracle, but it also is just that surrender and peace of saying, okay, if this is how it is, then this is how it is. And I like also the part that you bring about, I'm going to be the best aunt, because the aunts so many times are the second mother. And some of the stories that we have in this book are people who are mothers, quote unquote, who haven't born children, but they mother. And I think that that's a valuable role too. And I don't know, who do you feel like this story is, somebody reading your book, when you were writing this, who was it that you visualized somebody out there? If you did, who do you feel like you were speaking to?
I would say it's that woman that feels lost. They just feel lost in life. They're just trudging through, and it just feels like no dreams are really working itself out. Just keep dreaming, just keep believing. I really had gotten to that place. I mean, I was 30 before I had my first baby. And again, without a hint of pregnancy. And I just really felt like there was a piece of me just moseying on, like my dreams wouldn't ever happen. And I was just stuck here on earth and I just had to be alone. And then it changed, and it swirled. And the love of a child is just, it's like anything. It's not like anything else. It's hard to explain. They open your heart, they break it wide open. They teach you to love and ignite your own soul bigger than anything possible or imaginable. And they've also been my greatest teachers. So I would say this is for the woman that feels like she's lost her dreams and she's not allowed to have the things in her life that she believes is rightfully hers.
Beautiful. I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you have that in this book. Tell me, for all of the people who are watching this video or have read the book, because you're working on some other books, some really big stories where you're the sole author. These are big projects. And if you want to share, just a little bit about the CAPA, because we don't want to give it away and, it's not there yet, but what is kind of what's coming up next for you with the books? But for those of you that are really touched by your story or want an autographed copy from you, or just want to connect with you deeper as a client or a colleague. So kind of tell everybody about that.
So I've got two books in the making. One is on my career. I am a spa and wellness lady for years. Like I said, my passion and my purpose in life is to create safe space in this world. And that is through spas, wellness, and retreat. It's about creating safe space in the world, but creating safe space inside. So I teach, I mentor, I consult other owners and spa owners and in the wellness center. They can all connect with me online. I'll drop the links for everyone to be able to investigate. If you'd like to purchase my book through me, this particular one, we do have it on our website, mountainsidespa.com. So you can go there to purchase it now, and we have a few copies in store. And I do plan on doing, some of them will be signed there by me that can just be picked up at any time. And then for my other book, I think what will relate to a lot of women is that some of us don't come from secure, safe places. And I didn't. My life was not safe as a child. And I was in very unsafe hands many times between, my own mother and the men that she had in her life. And also because she didn't have the support to be a mother. And so I write about my family's story, and my family went through, in honest terms, went through hell with my mother and her husbands. And I've lived on my own since I was 13 years old, and I've made my own way in this life. And I've spent so much time feeling alone. And so for me, it's a powerful story that I am writing about. It's taking me a while in your classes to help me pull that through, because it can be, it was really intense at first. And then it's about how to take that intensity and that trauma and that horrible impact and then create the bridge to safety. And that's what I'm bringing with my life to this world. Is I'm so passionate about helping people feel safe in their own life, feel safe in their own self. And so one of my beautiful workshops that I love to teach is we teach how to bless and clear space with fire salt burns. And then we also teach how to take every task in your life that you may have, everything you do all day long, and then we map it out emotionally. And it really tells what brings you joy and what drains you dry.
Okay.
And so you can then take what is draining you dry. We can't take away everything, right? Because no one likes to change a messy diaper. Let's be for real. No one likes that job, but we're not going to stop doing that. The goal is that we have more joys than we do drains, and we can look at any of those and decide what do we get to keep and what can we pass on and just let go of. And so I love that work in the world. It's been something that has saved my life and sanity and made me a better person and made me a better mom. So that's.
Well, and I am really excited about your books in the future, especially the one that you're sharing about, because there are so many people that have come through hard things and they feel like they'll never have not just a safe place, but that they'll never have joy. They can never follow their dreams, that they started off so tarnished and damaged that there's no hope. And you are a walking miracle, number one. And you also are a way shower, letting the world know that whatever the circumstances from the get-go, we have personal sovereignty, and there is no safe place outside of ourselves. And learning how to be the safe place for ourselves through not just self-care practices, but also through boundaries and setting up your life in a way that you get to be your advocate. So I think that what you're doing is just amazing. And I hope that the people that see this video reach out to you. And I know that a lot of people will read your name and not be sure how to say it. And you always say, just say Ez. So reach out to Ez. And I just want to, again, honor you again for being part of this book, and tell everybody your website one more time.
My website that you can come enjoy some safe space or buy my book is mountainsidespa.com.
mountainsidespa.com. Perfect. And I will include that on this video on YouTube. So thank you so much, as I appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and sign off.